What's up, everybody? It's your man Ken Billions, and I'm sure, like many of you, the rest in the whole world, a lot of people are grieving over a tragedy of a person that's very important to a lot of people, not just in America, but around the entire globe. This person did their damn thing, and I'm talking about Kobe Bryant. And you know, I don't. It's a sad time for a lot of people, and but I want to focus on something. I want to focus on the celebration, and I want to focus on icon status and what icon status means for the regular man or woman. Anytime someone with a lot of energy passes away, when they pass away, they release a lot of energy into the atmosphere. And the creative juices that they use to succeed now becomes available to everybody, but only for a short period of time, right? So when the energy is out there, you have to use it and you have to get it. So a person like Kobe Bryant, when they pass, they release a lot of energy and it's available to everybody. And that's what this is about. This is about icon status. And every now and then an icon passes away. It's sad, but it's also a blessing, because for the person that's looking for inspiration or motivation, or the person that has writer's block, or a person that needs a little fuel, like a lot of us, if you tap into the death of an icon, you'll be able to scale just like the icon, because the person left something here for everybody to use. It's a moment for celebration, and it's a moment for inspiration, because, death is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing for the person, and it's not a bad thing for the people that are left behind. Of course, we mourn for our own selfish reasons, but death is a release. And right now, an epic person, a classic person, a person with a drive that a lot of us dream to having, they passed away. And that's what I want to talk about. So this is icon status, and this is about Kobe Bryant, but what it means to you and me, right? After we get past the tears and remembering where we was when it happened, and after we finish mourning, we're still here. So we got a lot of life to live. All right. So I want to tap into the traits of an icon, and I want to get into what is it that makes a person an icon. All right. So that's what this video is about. It's about icon status. Okay. So let's get into it. Before I do, what death does do is don't take things for granted. So I don't care how many people show up. I don't want to take it for granted. So if I end up talking to 5 people or 10 people, I appreciate you checking me out, because you actually give my life more meaning, because I couldn't do this if you guys didn't come check me out. So as I'm talking and I'm ministering, I need people to listen. So I need attention. So for the people that always show up, I definitely don't want to take you for granted. If you ever shot something to my Cash App, I don't want to take you for granted or anything. So I want to say shout outs to you, because you can be anywhere in the world. It's a lot of people going live. It's a lot of YouTube channels. It's a lot of Instagram pages. You could be anywhere. You could be doing anything. But for you to give me your attention, I appreciate you. So I want to give you a hand clap for allowing me to be me. All right? So appreciate you. So let's get into the build, right? My video is about Kobe Bryant, and it's entitled Icon Status. But what is an icon, right? My definition of an icon, this is Ken Billion's definition of icon. An icon is an exceptional human being overly committed to their craft, okay? An icon is an exceptional human being overly committed to their craft. This is my definition. Now, the reason why that's super important is because we live in this age right here, right? If you ride the city bus, everybody is looking down. If you go to a restaurant, everybody's looking down. If you go to a club, everybody's looking down. I believe as we keep evolving, we're going to evolve different kind of necks because we're always looking down, right? Now, that is super important, because that means people aren't being present, right? People aren't paying attention to their environment, okay? But what makes an icon exceptional is their commitment to their craft while everybody's looking down. So for one moment, I want you to think about your day today. How many people did you see looking down, not paying attention to their environment? Now, what is it that you think they're looking down at? You think it's stocks they're looking down at? Maybe. I doubt it. You think it's porn? I think that's more probable than them looking at the stocks. You think it's social media? You think it's scrolling? You think it's their Tinder? You think it's their POF? What do you think they're looking down at? I guarantee you what they're looking down at is not related to their craft. Now, here's where you come in. The icon energy that Kobe left on this planet, it is available to you. While everybody is looking down, this gives you the opportunity to be super present. This gives you the opportunity to focus on your craft. Everybody's distracted. Now, while everybody's distracted, what it would take you 10 years to do, with deep focus, okay, going into a deep work zone, you probably can accomplish that in 3 years, 4 years. It depends on your level of commitment. But an icon is maniacal when it comes to their craft. Serena Williams has this trait. Wayne Gretzky had this trait. Michael Jordan had this trait. These are exceptional human beings, not just in athletics, but in the realms of business, in acting, in book writing. Stephen King, right? People that are highly productive individuals, men and women, and even children. Bobby Fischer in chess was like this. They had the ability to be overly committed to their craft. Now, I'm sure you got a 9 to 5, okay, that you go to every day, and you're committed, but you're not overly committed, right? Anytime you can get off, you're going to take off, right? The difference is a person with icon energy, there's no days off, okay? There's no days off. But I'm telling you, for the guys and girls out there, right now there's an energy in the atmosphere, and if you tap into it, you can use it. Because again, everybody's looking like this. Everybody got the giraffe neck, the ostrich neck. Everybody's looking down at something that is not going to produce a return on their investment. Everybody's being entertained by their phone. It's nothing but gossip. You know what I mean? So take advantage of that, right? Leave them looking down so you can focus on the goal. Then by the time they look up, the gap between you and them will be as wide as the Grand Canyon, right? What is also something about an icon? An icon is able to transcend their limitations. I'll give you an example. A lot of people get bored, all right? They don't have anything to do. A lot of posts on social media come from people just being bored, right? It's an interesting person that while they're bored, they start writing with their offhand. That says something about you, right? There's no reason in particular for you to do this, but it's that you want to transcend your limitations, okay? So if I'm right-handed, so if I'm writing, if I just start tweaking my left hand, start throwing with my left hand, start writing with my left hand, that is me trying to develop my limitations because I want to get my left hand as good as my right hand. For a person to do that, this is a person that is focused on mastery. Okay, that's icon energy when you know your limitations and you're not satisfied and you just don't you're not passive about that. You want to transcend your limitations. Okay, you want to turn the things that you're not good in. You want to become good in it, and then you go to the next level. You want to become great. That was Kobe Bryant. If you remember his rookie year when he shot the 5 air balls against Utah, most people would have got down on that, right? His limitations was his legs wasn't strong enough because the year before he played 35 games in high school. Well, the NBA season is longer, not just longer. The game was way more physical back then. Charles Oakley was playing. Barkley was playing. The big man was in the game at the time, where if you drove the lane, they would knock you to the floor. And the game would get way, way more physical during playoffs. The referees would officiate differently during playoffs. You ever heard of something called playoff foul? A playoff foul is when a guard comes to the lane, man, you put their ass on the floor. All right, you make them stay out there and shoot jump shots, okay? So his limitation was he wasn't his body wasn't strong enough to play a full NBA season. This is why the jumpers were air balls. So what does he do on the off season? He starts squatting. He starts working on his limitations. Okay, every year Kobe came in. When the season started, he picked up something new. There's videos of him working with Hakeem Olajuwon. There's videos of him shooting jumpers with his left hand, right? His footwork, okay? He didn't start out like that. He worked at that because he understood that's his limitations. Now, he's done. His story is already written. But what about you, though, all right? What are your limitations? What is the weakest thing about your character? What is the weakest thing about your physical makeup? What is the weakest thing about your communication? Okay? What is the number one thing that you can get better at? Okay? The thing that you're great at, man, you already got that down pat. Now move on. All right? So that's the thing about icon energy. Icon energy transcends limitations. Okay? This is what makes icons different from average people. Average people have value because we need worker bees in society. And if you're a worker bee, no diss to you. But average people are content with their life. They don't do anything exceptional. They're just and this and and that. But an icon is never satisfied because it's about maxing out. Okay, so listen, if you are interested in developing the icon energy or tapping into the energy that Kobe left, you have to be not eager, but willing to transcend your limitations. Okay? Guess what else icons do? Now, this is a big one. This is a huge one. Icons also transcend race and culture. They become culture. Okay? They set a standard. Now, the average human being is going to hit their head on race and culture. They're not going to be able to go farther. For example, in the black community, the average person can't go farther than Farrakhan. They can't go farther than Shirley Chisholm. They can't go farther than Malcolm X or Martin Luther King or Marcus Garvey, right? There's a ceiling. So you have to fall in line to what these people have said. And the majority of them are dead. So dead people control the narrative. And then you have the cultural aspect where people police each other. So the culture decides what you wear, how you look, how you sound, what's in, what's out. And most people can't transcend that. And they don't want to because it's safety in there when you don't transcend race, when you fall in line. When the whole race laughs, then you laugh, even when it's not funny. When the whole culture dresses like this, you fall in line, right? But an icon transcends both. An icon also transcends their gender. The Mamba mentality is genderless, is cultureless. It's for anybody that wants to use it, okay? Now, that's the thing about icon. An icon, again, transcends limitation. Culture and race are limitations because it's a group identity, it's group ideology, it's group think, and it's group movement. Now, people won't look at their race as a herd mentality, but it is because when you talk for example, when you come from American ghettos are about humility. American ghettos are about being humble. American ghettos is not the place for the person that has audacity. If you're a woman from the American ghettos and you're just not comfortable being a baby making machine, if you're not comfortable doing what all the girls do, and you have audacity about your life, you see yourself somewhere, you know what they're going to say? Bitch, you think you all that. You ain't even do nothing. Only thing you doing is showing up, right? And they're going to say, you think you all that. You think you better than everybody, all right? But I come to tell you that if you are a person that puts in the work while everybody else is partying and BSing, and when everybody else is asleep, you up early, right? If you a person that puts in the work, you are better than other people because they could be doing the same exact thing. They choose not to. right? Every man and every woman has a right to live their life how they want to. All right. So the thing about the icon energy transcends race and transcends culture. Okay, so there's boys in American ghettos that dare to dream. They dare to dream past gangbanging. They dare to dream past the narrative. They don't just want to play basketball. They don't just want to rap. Some of them want to be astronauts, okay? Some of them want to own ranches and have farms. Some of them want to travel abroad. And when they talk with this confidence. And when you're from American ghettos are saying, listen, nigga, you need to be humble, right? How dare you see yourself farther than us? That's what happens. But icons transcend race and culture to the point they become culture without even trying. And the way that they live their life becomes the standard for millions of people. And that wasn't even on purpose. They just wanted to live. They dared to dream, right? Do you dare to dream? A lot of us don't dare to dream because we shared our dream with somebody when we was little and they killed the dream, right? But icon individuals have this unbreakable, unshakable, unwavering confidence about themselves. You cannot knock them off their square. Seriously, some of you out there people have told you, you know what, you think you're better than everybody. And you never even said that. You thought it, but you've never said that. And the reason why they're saying that is because you dare to walk with your head up, right? When everybody goes left, you decide to go right. When everybody's looking like this, you decide to look like that. You're never doing what they do. So because you're never doing what they do, they say you think you're all that. It ain't that. It's that you were born with culture in you to create it, to design it, to innovate, not to copy, not to fall in line. Let me tell you something. Dead ancestors have value, but a living dog is better than a dead lion. There's no way in hell dead people should have more value than the living. And an icon understands that. An icon is paving their own path, and they are totally happy with the results, okay? Listen, here's a key thing about the icon that separates average people and above average people, extraordinary people. Icons fail in front of you, all right? They fail right in front of your face because they're dreaming so big they have to fail. Okay? Because when you have a super big dream, you don't actually know how you're going to get there, right? So it's going to take curiosity, a little naivety, okay? It's going to take effort, but in that process, you are going to slip and fall and bump your head. You are a person that needs mistakes to improve. Okay, so you're constantly pushing at the narrative. You're constantly pushing the envelope. You're constantly risk-taking. And that's the way that you're learning to maneuver in the craft that you choose to go in the path that you choose to do, right? You need to fail. This is how you get better. And you fail in front of people, okay? Some of you right now is people that are throwing dirt on your name because they've seen you fail, not knowing that you're looking forward to the failure because they don't know that you're failing forward, right? Every time they see you fall, they're not noticing that you never fall backwards, you fall forwards, right? But they didn't see that it was 7 steps before you fell forward, right? Then the next time it was 13 steps and you fell again. And then the next time it was 30 steps and you fell again. And then the next time it was 70 steps and you fell again. Every time you fail, there's a compound interest in that's added to you failing forward. Okay? So the average man or woman fails backwards. They don't fail forward. They don't fall forward. They fall backwards, okay? And they're judging you, and they're throwing salt on your name and throwing dirt on your name because they see you failing. But little do they know that failure puts you ahead of them. Little do they know that failure put you ahead of where you was last year. Little do you know at this rate, every time you fail, you're still knocking off goals, right? You're still knocking off things on the vision board, okay? Man, listen, icons fail in front of people, all right? The average man and woman, they're, they got shame in them. They're not ready to transcend. So they're stuck and they got a lot of shit to say, but that's okay though, right? So Kobe Bryant failed in front of the entire world. Struggles with teammates, the conflict in Colorado. Can he do it without Shaq? He ran Shaq out of town. The things with him and Phil Jackson. How dare you? Let me tell you something. Kobe Bryant failed to be Michael Jordan. He failed at that. Came close, but he failed. So he failed at being better than the greatest of all time, right? If you set your mark in business or marriage or health, whatever it is you choose, and you set your eyes on to be the greatest, and there's already someone in front of you, and this is the consensus best that ever did it, right? And you fall or fail right up under them, come on, man. What an incredible life, right? What an incredible life. You dared to try to be better than the best ever. That's a great life. And I think that you'll be fine wherever the chips fall, because you know you gave it your all right? So listen, those traits of an icon, when you can attain. It's in you. The energy is circling around, right? It's in the cloud, right? All you got to do is grab it, right? All you have to do is be overly committed to your craft, transcend your limitations, transcend race and culture. That's a big one right there, family, because everybody's dealing with group identity. To me, that's not a sign of a confident person that need the group to have an identity. You need your block to have an identity, or your city that has an identity. Nah. Self-made means that you have designed yourself. You don't need no city. You don't need no group. I'm talking about to identify. Now, when it comes to resources, we all need assistance. No question, right? And inspiration and we all need inspiration and influence of others, right? But when it comes to self-identifying, no, that's totally your job. And I know that's super hard for people, because a lot of people are living off family name, living off their hood, living off their block, living off their allegiance to something, not an icon. An icon transcends that. All right. So I know that's a hard thing for everybody, because, racial identity, like, yo, you are not a legend if you need the help of millions of people to stand tall, right? I'm all about the mystery and not the history. I don't give a damn who built a pyramid, honestly. For real. I don't care who started math and science. That does absolutely nothing for me. That is the sign of an unconfident person. You need to stand on the back of another person to make your point. Instead of that, leverage your own icon. Leverage what you've done in this lifetime, and you stand on that. Okay? So also, icons fail in front of people, but they rise in front of people. Icons fail forward. Okay? Say it with me. Icons fail forward. So if you are failing, family, but there's compound interest on you failing, each time you fail, it widens the gap between you and your peers. They're failing backwards and you're failing forward. Man, you're going to get to where you're trying to go in no time. I promise you. All you got to do is stay at it. So listen. There's key ingredients to icons, okay? Key ingredients. One of the ingredients to icon is ambition, all right? Now, the mistake that a lot of icon people make is they try to start a family when they know that their ambition means more to them than the family life. You see, Kobe Bryant's family suffered a little bit because he was so committed to his craft, right? I'm not saying you can't be in a relationship, but what I'm saying is the person that you find has to be built for an icon individual. Not every guy is built for Serena Williams because she's more dedicated to her craft than she is to a man. And you got to be okay with that. And you, as her guy, can't take her off her square. She has a mission to complete, and she's not physically going to be able to do that assignment, right? For a long period of time. She has a short window of time to complete things, okay? So the ambition is the curse of an icon, because a lot of times when an icon falls out of grace and favor, it's because of their peers. Their peers don't understand the ambition. Right now, a lot of you are going to get off work today and do absolutely positively nothing when you get off. You're going to kick your feet up. You're going to eat ice cream. You're going to get on social media and do whatever you want because you put in an honest day's work. And I'm telling you, you can. There is nothing wrong with that. The world needs average people. In fact, average people, because you don't do anything well, you are not burdened with the curse of greatness. Okay? So you can clock out and do absolutely nothing when you're done and then clock in. That is a great life, honestly. But the icon is burdened by the next ingredient, vision. The icon sees themselves somewhere. The icon will always be haunted by doing more. The icon will always be haunted by scaling, going through a metamorphosis from good to great, from extraordinary to extraordinary, right? To be the greatest at something is such a burden. It is a burden because you're never satisfied. It's always more. Tom Brady got 6 rings. He's still going. You know what I mean? He might not even retire this year. He wants more because he likes to compete. You know what I'm saying? He can't retire. Okay? So ambition and vision, a lot of those things, there's a curse and a burden sometimes for a lot of people. So the average person, I don't wish that on the average person, not being able to sleep at night, okay? Not being able to have a conversation with common folks, not being able to do common things. Why? Because you're so focused on the mission and you're so focused on the vision. You are addicted. You are maniacal. You can never turn it off. That is a curse, and it's the curse of the great. And I don't wish that on anybody. Another key ingredient of an icon is ice cold energy. One of the things that, you know, an average person or a common person, they use their emotions to think. You know what I mean? Their emotions think for them. Icon energy, you're ice cold. You are always objective, okay? The world can be in chaos around you, and you step back and you assess the situation. And you go into each situation and assess it differently. The average person judges every situation the same because the average person doesn't have emotional intelligence. What makes an icon is emotional intelligence. And that's what you're going to need to be the greatest in your craft. You're going to need to know when to turn your emotions off, when to turn them on. You're going to need to know how to use them. You're going to need to practice effective listening. The average person doesn't practice effective listening. The average person puts their emotions inside a conversation. So someone has the ability with their words to make the average person, the common person, feel a certain type of way. So they always say, well, what you trying to say? Right? They always assume you're trying to say something. But an icon energy person mean what they say and say what they mean. Okay? The common man and the common woman, the average man and the average woman, they have no control over their emotions. Okay? And their emotions come before food. Right? The thing about icon energy people, the mission comes before food. Oftentimes the mission comes before breathing. That's how maniacal and focused they are when it comes to their craft. Are you like that? Can anybody out there relate? Do you have icon energy? Have you ever been in the presence of it? It is an interesting feeling to be around a person or to be a person that is so mission driven, you'd rather have the mission over food. The common men and women rather have food over, I'm sorry, they'd rather have emotions over their food. If they saw two things on a plate, okay, to be in their feelings or that sandwich right there, they're going to pick to be in their feelings. This is facts, okay? Because people can't control that animalistic part of themselves, that beastly nature to always kick and scream, to always vent, to always talk about their feelings, as if it can be scaled, as if it can be monetized, okay? No. So ice cold energy is one of the ingredients to have icon energy. Another one, and this is really slept on, is work ethic. Now again, a lot of people are getting off right now. A lot of people are going to spend their time doing nothing. Now, you know what's interesting? I'm really curious. What is the reason everybody has cable? Like a few years ago, I was in this hood. I'm not going to say the hood, right? But I was in this hood. I was visiting somebody. And it looked bad out there, man. It was really bad. Like the people weren't living their best life, right? It was really a sad situation. But one of the things that I noticed, every house had a satellite dish on it. Every house. To me, that said a lot. Because when I looked outside and I looked at the environment and I looked at the boarded up buildings and I looked at is dilapidation the word? The dilapidated housing structures, all right? And I looked at the trash on the ground and I looked at the graffiti on the house. Every house had a satellite dish. So even though the conditions were slim outside, everybody still had cable. That was interesting to me, okay? That says a lot about a people. So what that tells me is the people here do not have a work ethic. And the reason why it looks the way it does, they expect the government or the state to come over here and fix this. Now, if the state or developers come and gentrify this area and kick these people out, for some people that'll come make this area look better, everybody will kick and scream and complain. But the commonality that everybody had on that block was that they had cable. Why am I saying that? What is the purpose of that? All right? Can you afford it? I'm not talking about the $50 a month subscription, the $60 a month subscription. Can you afford to get off work and watch TV until you fall asleep? Can you afford that? If you're a person that comes from generational poverty, generational bad health, generational dysfunctional families, can you afford to get off work and set your DVR and watch 4 or 5 hours of TV and then go to work tomorrow and build someone else's dream and come home and do the same exact thing? Can you afford that? And if you can, do you. Do what thou wilt, right? Work ethic, right? Toil, right? Labor, okay? Never stopping, because you have a short window of time to be great, okay? So I ask you, what does your work ethic look like? How many hours can you put in today? Now, you're going to put in 8 hours for someone. You do what you got to do. Slow dough better than no dough. That might not be your dream job, but I was always taught, yo, don't give up no money until you got some other money, right? Don't listen to these gurus telling you to quit your job. Don't do that, okay? So look, when you get off work, what makes you an icon is that after you go work for them, you don't forget to work for yourself, right? You having cable is not working for your family, all right? You're working for someone else's family because someone else's family got your eyeballs. Mona Scott got your eyeballs. Now, I'm not saying you can't watch basketball, the Super Bowl, everything in moderation. But these are habits that people practice. And then these are the same people that said the system needs to be fixed. The system is rigged. No, the system is not rigged. The system doesn't need to be fixed. People need to be fixed. It's people that make the system. So if you want change, you got to be the change. All right? So this is ingredients of an icon. All right? The ingredients of an icon is always the first person there and the last person to leave. The ingredients of an icon is self-starting. The ingredients of an icon, they don't need to be told what to do. The ingredients of an icon sees and identifies something that needs to be done, and they do it. The ingredients of an icon is they create dopamine by going the distance and working harder than everybody. One of the most important ingredients of a icon is the ability to go into a gear that the average man and woman can't go to. I'll give you an example. Have you ever been in the gym and you lifted, and that last push, that last rep you got to do, man, you're tired, man. You can't get it up. You know, you're working with new weight, and you feel like if you push, you're gonna die. An icon will risk death to finish that set off. An icon will risk dying in order to go to that next level. The average man and woman feel a little bit of pain and they stop. The average man and woman get a little tired and they stop. What makes an icon is their ability to push past the pain and get high off the pain. Okay? Also, and here's, I think, the most important thing of what I'm going to say. An icon has signature moments and philosophy. Signature moments and philosophy. One more time. Signature moments and philosophy. Let's talk about signature moments for a second. You see the shot that Jordan shot on Craig Elo, or when he crossed over Byron Russell, or when he was playing the Lakers and he came down the lane and he switched hands and they put it in slow-mo. That's signature moments. Those are the moments when that people remember where they were. All right? What'll make you an icon is for you to have signature moments. Basically, when the spotlight hits you, you perform. Whether on a small level, you don't got to be playing sports. You could be just showing up in your family. When people need you the most, you come through, right? When it looks like we are down and out, some way, somehow, it's you that brings us to the promised land. Those are signature moments because if anything happens to you, everybody's going to say, hey, you remember such and such? You remember when Shauna did this? Oh, wow, man. She was a legend that day. You remember when Bryant, man, when we thought we was down and out, he came through with the signature moment. You know what happens when you come from the bottom? Your signature moments is everybody seeing you go to jail. Your signature moment is a rant on Facebook when you told your family how you felt about them. You just had to get that off your chest, huh? That's your signature moment, huh? Your signature moment is someone seeing your car get repoed, right? Your signature moment is you fighting your spouse out in the street, right? Your signature moment is cutting somebody's face. These are your signature moments. These are what people remember about you. But let me tell you something. The moment you die, that kikiing and ha-haing about that, they really say how they feel about you. And they're glad you're gone. See, no one benefits from them signature moments, right? An icon has moments that elevate everybody. Even though it's you performing, it winds up bleeding over to everybody, and everybody winds up eating off it. Everybody winds up moving forward over it. Malcolm X got signature moments. He got signature moments. You know what I'm saying? The moment of him being questioned by the European cats, and they asking him what's his father's name and what's his name, and says, I got my slave master's name. Understand, that's a signature moment because many people never heard no black man talk like that. You know what I mean? The Thriller in Manila. Muhammad Ali, he got signature moments happen. You know what I mean? So icons need signature moments. Okay? Icons need those moments that becomes crystallized in everybody's consciousness. Okay? Now let's talk about philosophy. The Sermon on the Mount, Jesus Christ, or Moses, whether you believe in these things or not, they're signature philosophies. Well, there's signature moments in there, but there's also philosophical benchmarks in there. Moses and the Ten Commandments. Now imagine yourself being this, right? Imagine you are the one that changes the thought process of everybody in your area. Okay? Imagine that. That's philosophy. Kobe Bryant's philosophy was Mamba mentality. Now, the dope shit about the Mamba mentality is little kids can have it, women can have it, old people can have it, Mexicans can have it, Jews can have it, Africans can have it, gays can have it, trans people can have it. Anybody can tap into this mindset. That makes you an icon, right? Jesus Christ, love thy neighbor. That's a concept. Whether you agree with it or not, anybody could do it, right? You have signature moments and you have philosophy. What's your philosophy? What is the theme that people know you for? You know me, I say you got to put something down to pick something up. What does that mean when I say that, right? That means for you to get somewhere, you got to put something down. That means for you to get something back, you got to put something down. Nothing for the free ski. Everything comes with sacrifice. You got to pay for gain, right? You got to put something down to pick something up. For a woman to want to give birth and have a family, she must go through pain. For a man to get filthy rich in America, he must put in the work. Everything in nature got to put down to pick up. That's my philosophy. You got to put something down to pick something up. You feel me? Everybody needs signature moments and philosophy. This is what makes you an icon. Yo, if you're a person that says things like toxic masculinity, that's not a philosophy. That's pop culture narrative. Intersectionality, that's a pop culture narrative. White supremacy, that's a pop culture narrative. You need something of your own, man. You need something that means something to you that can shift the thinking of your peers, yeah? You understand? What is your philosophy? And what are your signature moments? If the signature moments that you have in your life is rooted in dysfunction, is rooted in doubt, is rooted in turmoil, is rooted in embarrassment, then I'm telling you to raise your genius and to activate your icon energy, you're going to have to put those signature moments in the past. Your signature moments can't be moments of losing, right? Because that creates a culture. Again, icons come with their own culture. You don't want to reverse icon you don't want to reverse engineer your icon, okay? So now the moment is going to derive, your signature moments are going to derive from your philosophy. Your philosophy is going to create the moments for you to perform. All right? So my philosophy is you got to put something down to what? Pick something up. Now that philosophy is going to put me in situations where I'm kicking the game. That philosophy is going to put me in moments to have signature moments. And I got to be ready to perform. I got to be ready to go. Because sometimes you only get one shot to make a first impression. Sometimes you don't get another opportunity. So what is your philosophy? All right? And if your philosophy is a philosophy that's been having you losing all this time, If your philosophy is a philosophy that has people exiting your life, if your philosophy is a philosophy that has you taking more shorts than getting props, then you need to find a new philosophy. Because everybody that we honor in this world, we honor their philosophy. Whether it's Thomas Jefferson, whether it's Benjamin Franklin, whether it's Martin Luther King, right? Abraham Lincoln, you name the person and I'll tell you the philosophy. All right? Every great person that makes history has a philosophy. And it's their philosophy that put them in position to have these signature moments. The moment that defines a generation. The moment that takes you from being mortal to a god. That moment that people talk about when you are gone. And they remember where they were when they seen you become the tallest tree in the forest. All right? Understand, I understand people are mourning. It's a sad time. A lot of people have lost their hero. But let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, there's a silver lining, though. And the silver lining is this person has opened the floodgates of energy. And if you've been an underachiever your whole life, this is the opportunity. This is the opportunity for you to become an overachiever. This is the opportunity for you to get back at that teacher that has doubted you. That said you wasn't going to be shit. This is an opportunity to get back at the ex that left you because they stopped believing in you. This is an opportunity for you to get back on the parents that haven't been so supportive. This is an opportunity for you to get back at your peers because they haven't stuck with you when you're down. Grab that energy. This is an opportunity for you to scale because that energy is up for grab for those who reach. All you got to do is reach. Wherever you at, just stick your hand out. Just put your hands in the air. If you want a car at the red light, just put your hands in the air like you're receiving a gift. If you can't put your hands in the air, just open up your palms, right? So that icon energy could fall right in your hands, right? And then you do the Birdman, right? And then you could either do the Birdman with the hands or you could do the Stevie J with the hands. Me personally, I'm going to do the Stevie J with the hands, right? Because he got creep hands. And I want my icon energy to fall in my hands and I want to look like a creep when I'm rubbing my hands. Yeah. But wherever you at, open up your hands. When you open up your hands, you're going to open up your mind. When you open up your mind, you're going to open up your heart. And when you open up your hands, your heart, and your mind, guess what happens? Your feet start doing this, right? And then when you open up your hands, your heart, and your mind, and your feet start doing this, guess what happens? You are now in a position to have what? Signature moment. Open up your hands, ladies and gentlemen. Open up your mind. Open up your heart, right? Because you have to take advantage of the Christ energy. Don't focus on the personality. Focus on the energy. This doesn't come around so often when a person dies at the height of their creativity. Most people die when they're old. A lot of great people die when they're old, and that doesn't benefit the public. This benefits you and I. You know what I'm saying? This is not a sad story. This is a resurrection story. Okay? For you and for me. You know, the people that are still here and we're not done and we got a mission that we haven't completed. This is not a sad story. This is not a time for crying. This is a time for joy. This is a time for us to be overachievers. Open up your hands. Open up your mind. Open up your heart. And let your feet start doing this. All right? It's about that icon. What about you? What about her? What about him? All right? This is your time. This is your time. All right? So, you already know what it is. You see that Cash App? Go ahead and sock it to my pocket. Fair exchange. Ain't no robbery. All right? Or you could go to kenbillions.com and get some of that game. But do one of the two. And if you ain't got nothing to put in the tip jar, and you're too ashamed to share or you ain't got nothing for the kenbillions.com, then at least tell your mama and them about me. All right? I'll see you guys next time. Icon energy. icon energy, icon energy. Open up your hands, right? And then open up your what? Your heart. And then open up your mind. And then what do the feet do? They start doing this. And it puts you in a position to have your signature moment. All right? I'll see you next time. We got to put something down, pick something up. Peace.